You know how you'll hear, that's what you got from that? Because we're all doing that all day long, right? We're just taking it from our perspective or what we want to see or hear, but it's not how it was meant to come across, or seen or understood, or like, you know how oftentimes you hear it's the warning or the example, right? Other people can be your warning or they can be your example. And it can be different for everybody, right? Like your warning could be my example because that's the life I want. And you're like, oh, that's not the life I want, right? So for me, it's an example. For you, it's a warning. And so everybody's just showing you a scenario for you to determine whether you like it or not. And you're calling it in to determine that. So what you're putting out is what you're getting back. And so you get to see, okay, is it what you want? Oh, actually, no, thank you. Or, oh, yes, exactly. And they just showed it in a way. Like they've shown me many a times the number 144. Like for years, they kept showing this and they kept explaining it in ways where like you hear that in the Bible and you hear like all these different things. And then people get excited by that, right? They're like, oh, I'm the chosen one, or I'm, all these things. And so it's been shown to me that way to a degree, but it's also been shown as like, oh, you don't want that. You don't want that, but people do. And I thought I did too. Like when I was like, oh, am I special? Right? Because why? Because I want to feel special. I want to feel like I matter. I want to feel like I belong. I want to feel like I'm chosen, right? And so that was a lesson for me to learn. That was something I had to heal within oneself. And so it's like, okay, alrighty, you want to be chosen? Here you go. But it's like not realizing that's not. It's like, because then your life is is like the warning and the example. It's the how can I say this better? It's like you know how so many times people will hear. I feel like this is common, maybe I'm wrong, that we'll hear that you have to struggle, you have to work hard to be worthy of it, to get it, right? Because we hear those stories and people love those stories. They love hearing the underdog. They love that line. And so that's what their takeaway is. Their takeaway is, oh my God, look how horrible they had it, and look what they came through, and look at them now. Okay, for me to get to where they are now, I have to go through hell, right? And it's like, wait, that's what you got from that? And that is often what people take from it. That is something that's stuck in a lot of people's crawl. Like that is a button that is pushed in and stuck there. It's like the wrong message, the wrong hinge, the wrong understanding was taken. Right? Where it was like, that was not meant for that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go through all that. You just have to master your own mind and tell yourself the right thing and allow yourself to have it, because you start to love yourself fully and completely. So you can receive it right here and now. You don't have to go through that hell. It was supposed to be the warning. If you don't love yourself, if you don't honor yourself, if you don't care for yourself, you're going to get drugged through hell before you can get to the other side. It was supposed to warn you, not for you to follow that rhetoric, not for you to follow that example, not for you to go through hell. It was to show you, when you don't love yourself, you're going to go through hell before you can get to the other side. But we don't take it that way. We take it the first way. It's like automatically we jump to our conclusion, and that's what we run with. And it's like, wait, what happened? What happened? How did that get misunderstood? Why are you doing that? Why are you going through the torment you were shown they went through to get to the other side? You were supposed to learn the lesson and see that they weren't loving themselves. They weren't honoring themselves. And in turn, it's what they suffered. Here's what they had to go through. They had to learn the lessons the hard way. And so you're saying, you're opting for, you're asking for the hard way too? Don't do that to you. That's not loving you. So you're right. Until you learn to love you and accept you, I guess you're going to have to go through the hard way, right? And it's all just a matter of mastering one's own mind, one's own thoughts, recognizing what are your thoughts And what are your mind's thoughts? And you're separate from it. Yet most people can't separate themselves from their thoughts. They identify as their thoughts. And just very, very interesting way to look at it and see it, because I think oftentimes we're doing that in so many scenarios. And I think that's a big common one, don't you? Don't you think that? I feel like we often come to our conclusions and it's like, wait, how did you get there? What is the justification? And it's like, well, they see what they want to see. They see the end result and they assume they have to go through the hell that person went through to receive that same end result. And I suppose sometimes that can be true, right? Like, but how can I say that better? It's like, so yes, in that person had to learn to love and honor themselves. Like I had to learn a lot of those lessons the hard way, and I continue to work on them every day. So you too have to do that work, but that work may not be as hard for you, right? Like, in other words, can you hear that clearly? In other words, like you could see the struggle and how hard it was for me, but like, okay, it's going to have to be a struggle and hard for me. And whatever you perceive you need to work on, you'll end up making it more challenging and difficult than it needs to be, versus continually telling yourself the right thing and working that way. So you're aiding yourself, you're helping yourself, you're making it easier on yourself, you're setting yourself up for success. And so, oh, and here's the other thing. Okay, so they're also showing, so like somebody else could already fully love and accept themselves, right? And then they could see that, that underdog win or something, right? Like they could see a struggle and then a win. And they'll figure out what is challenging for them or not, and then make it more challenging. No, but there was something else they just showed me. This is hard to spit out, isn't it? Sorry. It's like they might already fully love and accept themselves, and so they think, it's like they think they're doing it wrong. Sorry, it keeps coming and then leaving. It's like they think they're not doing it right or something because it wasn't a struggle. Well, because you had already, I was going to say you already did that work, or you never had to do that work because you never left yourself, right? And we could argue all of this so many different ways, but I hope you can hear what I'm saying. The broader message they were showing, I think, was the fact that we often do compare or compete or mishinge or misunderstand the message. I think that's it. I think it's like more we misunderstand or mishinge the message. We're given examples or warnings all the time, and we might flip them or flop them, where we like that storyline, that thread of the chosen, the 144. It was like painted as maybe desirable or something you would want, right? But if you have the wound of being abandoned or rejected, right? So then you think, oh, then that's the ultimate one that you want, because then you'll be chosen. You won't be abandoned, right? Does that make sense? And so then, but then you get that quote title, or you get chosen, or you get whatever, and you're like, oh, this is fucking awful. Well, yeah, you want it to go through the ringer to learn, and going through that ringer to learn is the ring of fire, right? Like you're going through hell. And it's like, so other people could see that and be like, oh, okay, so you don't want that. You want to choose yourself. I choose me over being chosen by something outside me. I choose me. I don't need something outside of me to choose me. I choose me. I love me. I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge of my thoughts. Oh, thank God. That's a wonderful warning to watch, right? Like that's how I think it was more maybe meant to be seen or heard. Like, careful what you ask for, right? And And why are you asking it? And is it loving and kind to you? And do you know how to be loving and kind to you? So maybe you do have to go through the ring of fire to learn what that means. Others can be like, oh, nope, I'm good. I fully love and accept myself. I love myself too much to go through that hell. Like, I don't need that. I'm aware. I'm intact. I'm aligned, right? And so I hope you can hear this, because I seem to be yet again struggling with a straight line on how to explain it simply and clearly with I think the simplest way is we often mishinge the message. We see the outcome and we presume we have to go through the story to get to that same outcome, and that is not always the case. If you can step back further and see the broader message and truly integrate it and understand it, then it's set up so that you can skip all that. You can skip the hard part. You don't need to go through that. And some of us do, right? Some of us, it's like sometimes, I can't tell you how many times that I thought I was in a better place than I was. I thought I knew, right? I struggle with that kind of stuff all the time. We think we know until we don't, or we're shown we don't, or we feel we don't. And meaning, like, I will get put through the fire and I'm like, all right, fuck. Okay. Right. And it's that stubbornness, or that, I don't know. We could talk about that for days. The point being is, it boils down to the same thing every time, doesn't it? The point is, are you loving and honoring yourself, and do you know what that means? Or are you looking outside yourself? Right? Are you filling up from the inside out, or are you looking to get filled up from the outside in? And then that's a never-ending cycle. That's a cycle that will never, ever satiate you, because it's the wrong way. You want to fill up from the inside out so that it's pure, it's authentic, it's true, it's from you. It's a never-ending fountain. But the second we look outside ourselves to fill up in any way, we're fucked, because then we become reliant and dependent on that outside ourselves, and everything outside of us is an illusion and temporary. So then you're fucked. And again, this could come across wrong or harsh, because then people think, oh my God, I can never. No, it's like, I want you to live, and I want you to love, and I want you to experience life, and I want you to have mistakes, because mistakes are such a beautiful thing. If we don't have them, we can't ever truly learn. So it's so beautiful. Like, look for more mistakes to make, right? Look to fuck up. We need to stop being so afraid of the fuck up. We want the fuck up, because then we'll really learn. If you don't think you know, do it, fuck up, and then you're like, oh fuck, now I see for sure. I can see clearly. Because then you learn what it feels like to satiate from the inside out. And again, it's just harder for some of us than others, because I automatically was going to say, you'll learn what it feels like to fill up from the inside out, which can be really challenging, because it's been challenging for me, right? That doesn't mean it's challenging for you. You might have done that naturally your whole life. So you might not even recognize what I'm saying, because you're like, what the fuck is she talking about? Because you naturally always have. You've always fully loved and accepted yourself. You knew who you were. You never questioned things. You were certain. You were loving and kind to you. You stood up for yourself. You didn't have a lot of the pitfalls I had. And so it's like, duh, to you, right? And to others of us, it's like, I had no idea I wasn't loving myself. I really didn't understand the difference. I always looked outside myself for approval and validation and acceptance and all these things. I had no idea I could offer that to myself to begin with, right? I didn't realize it was okay for me to love myself. I didn't realize it was okay for me to have a difference of opinion and allow others to throw fits, right? Like, it's like we don't always recognize these options because it was ingrained in us the other way. And again, not always maliciously, right? Like, I don't think my parents or family, some of the consequences of the childhood I have resulted in what they did. I don't think it was like ill intent, right? It wasn't conscious behavior. It wasn't with the intention of, oh, I'm going to have her not love herself, right? Like, no, of course not. It's like when we operate out of our wounds, we don't recognize the damage we're causing. And so That's why it's everybody's responsibility to love and honor themselves and learn these things and recognize these things and heal these things on their own, especially once you become an adult. Because, as you always hear me say, because the sooner we all do that, the sooner we all can feel good. And we want everyone to feel good. We want everyone to feel good. Because as long as one of us isn't feeling good, we're bleeding onto others. And then that spreads. So we want to spread it the other way. Everybody heal up, clean up, shore up. And the more we can offer that to ourselves, we can offer it for others. And it can go that way. It can be the domino that way. But it can also quickly turn and be the domino the other way. And I think it also starts with communicating clearly with oneself, right? To understand one's emotions, needs, feelings, to understand what's actually occurring, and understanding if it's the truth or the crux of the matter, or if it's just your ego talking nonsense from some old wound or mishinge, right? And then we can learn how to navigate ourselves and understand these differences within oneself. Then we can also communicate more clearly outside oneself. And all of that, to me, has been challenging and does take time and does take practice and does take grace with oneself, forgiveness of oneself, ease with oneself, gentleness with oneself. Because I think those types of people, we end up also being difficult on ourselves. Which again is no good, right? You're supposed to make mistakes. It's okay. So it's back to just fucking relax, right? It's like taking life too seriously, taking everything too seriously because you're in pain, right? And you want to get out of pain. So you take it really seriously, but then we can grip too tight, right? Anyway. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.